Welcome everybody along to the Premier League predictions for round 6 with myself and Mikey. And headline news, Mikey, I'm coming for you. You'd had 3 straight wins. A win for me last week, 8-6, puts the scores on the doors back to 3-2. Although, to be fair, it was close. We did both have one bob on. I had Leicester 1, Everton 1. You had Villa 3, Wolves 1. The point scores in total, I'm at 42. You are at 38. Welcome. And are you trembling in your boots?
Yeah, I was half expecting you, Ben, to post a picture of a pack of lions. Like, was it Harry Kane that did that back in 2016? And then Jamie Vardy returned with the Lion King thing. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, yeah, you are the hunter. Is it better to be the hunter or the hunted? I think
Always
I'd
better
rather
to be.
have the points on the board
Oh,
and be
okay.
in the position that I'm in. And you must remember, Ben, that one swallow doesn't make empty vessels making the most noise. So
if you just got Simba and the Lion King, which I can't start watching with Enid without saying Arsene Wenger instead of I don't know what they said. Always makes me hear Arsene Wenger, and then I go off into a Dennis Bergkamp related thought process or whatever. But there you go. Get involved in the comments if you've had enough of listening to my nonsense. We'll put the fixtures down in the description so you can copy and paste them. Give yourself 1 point for a correct outcome, for a correct scoreline, like Michael for Leicester 1, Everton 1, or Mikey's Villa 3, Wolves 1. Give yourself 3 points. If your scoreline has five or more goals in, give yourself 4 points. Right. We will start with a fixture I always think Man City have difficulty with, but I think they always actually win, don't they? It's Newcastle versus Man City, Mikey.
yeah, it's one I think we remember them beating Man City when they were struggling. Really, I think Matt Ritchie scored a
Yaya
penalty
Toure.
against Man City. Yeah, and there's been a couple of draws in there as well. I remember De Bruyne scoring an incredible volley up at St James's Park once, but Kevin De Bruyne was missing against Arsenal, and he's likely to be missing at Newcastle as well. I said Newcastle have maybe been a little bit lucky to have as many points as they had. There was a Newcastle supporter in the comments who strongly disagreed with me on that point. But although I thought they were maybe a little bit fortunate to be on as many points as they were, I was shocked by the way that they were beaten quite comfortably by Fulham. Man City, we've mentioned Kevin De Bruyne. Rodri is going to be out for a long time, maybe even the rest of the season, Ben, which is definitely going to change the way that they play. Who will he go for? Do you think he'll put John Stones in midfield? He might go with Rico Lewis in midfield. He's got experience playing there for England under 21s. He's also done it a couple of times for City. But either way, Ben, I'm going to go for a draw here. I'm going to go for Newcastle 1, Manchester City 1. And I'm going to ask for a bonus point here for saying that Erling Haaland won't score.
I don't think I'm going to give you the bonus point for that. I think you need to be bolder than that. Even though he is a machine and a monster, I thought you were going to give me the minute that Erling Haaland was going to score it. In which case, you could have had a bonus point for that. I'm ruling it out unless the comments say otherwise. You've left it open for me to back Manchester City, then, Mikey. They've had players out before and famously had a season without a recognised number 9 as well, didn't they? So I'll go for the machine to keep on rolling, and let's go for a comfortable one here. Newcastle 0, Man City 2, which puts me up first, Mikey, for Arsenal versus Leicester. And this one, I always feel uncomfortable when I say this. This one feels fairly straightforward home win, doesn't it? Be interested in your take as to Arsenal's moral victory or not with the 2-2 draw, which you said was going to be chaos, and it was chaos, wasn't it, for sure? Leicester fans already seem to be a bit indifferent to Stevie Cooper, which I don't understand because I think he's really good, but they're not going to win. Arsenal 3, Leicester 0.
Okay. Yeah, Arsenal devastated not to win against Manchester City, but they showed once again that this team has got bags of character and quite a bit of fight as well. No Odegaard or Trossard, but they'll have way too much for Leicester. And I'm going to go for the bonus point win. I'm going to go Arsenal 4, Leicester 1.
Wow. Mikey's at it at the start of the predictions today. He wants points and he wants them now. Will he get some from Brentford versus West Ham?
Yeah, yet another London not derby for West Ham. Aside from their win at Crystal Palace, it's been a really poor start for them. I think it might even be their worst ever start in the Premier League, which seems strange because they've got more points than Ipswich, haven't they? They're on 4 points, I think. But yeah, I do. Yeah, starting to wonder. It never really felt like a good fit for me there, Lopetegui at West Ham, especially with
No.
what's gone before and West Ham wanting to go down a different route in terms of playing style. But yeah, but he is a good manager, and I expect results to start to slowly improve. I worry about squad depth for Brentford. They've got Brian Burmo, who's playing brilliantly up front, but he doesn't have Vista with him anymore. He's a huge miss, and I just can't pick a win for either of these two teams. So I'm going to go Brentford 1, West Ham 1.
Always wise when you're not too sure. The thing about Brentford is when they're in a game and in with a chance, they can knock out a win, can't they? And
They
I
can,
think
yeah.
they might. Yeah, I think they might win this one. I'm going to go both teams to score and a home win. Brentford 3, West Ham 1, which takes us to Chelsea Brighton. Now, we normally say the so and so derby here, but we won't worry about it because there's too many to pick from. Mikey, is it wrong? I think Chelsea are my guilty pleasure now. I find them really fun. So I'm going to be backing a home win here. And Brighton obviously have had 2 home games of which they've both drawn. So it's going to actually be a bit of a bad run for Brighton if I'm correct in terms of them not winning. Always both teams to score, I think, with Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Brighton 1.
Okay, that's interesting. I've gone for Chelsea 3, Brighton 1. They just look like they've clicked a little bit. They were our chaos team, and we fully
Truly.
expected them to carry on being the chaos team. But they've conceded 1 goal in their last 3 games. And yeah, the goalkeepers, Sanchez has had to play well, and Jackson has started converting some of these chances. He's very good at getting chances. You've got to hand that to him. Both are going to look to dominate the ball. I think Chelsea are going to have the better of it. 3-1 Chelsea.
Big game this one, Mikey. Everton versus Palace. It's 19th versus 16th. Can Everton pull Palace in? Normally, when we ask that question, Palace go, nope.
Obviously, selfishly, we're hoping that this one is a draw. I think this is battle of 2 teams that I've just got badly wrong this season so far. Everton finally got a point, but again surrendered a lead. NDI was lively in that game and got his goal. Maybe he's going to give them something extra in the attacking third. Palace had Dean Henderson to thank for their point against Manchester United and could have nicked it at the end as a missed a decent chance. I think Palace will eventually click. I keep saying it, but I don't think it's going to happen this weekend. I think this is a huge game for Everton, and I'm going to back them to just edge it 2-1.
Wow. I think I'll take the draw then because you've gone all in and actually backed somebody. And it will be a massively unhelpful draw for Everton. But the pattern is that they lead in games and they don't win them. And yes, I know there's news about a takeover, but I'm sure all the Everton fans are going to believe that when they actually see it complete. So I'll take the 1-1 and I'll sit on the fence for this one, being you've covered my back by actually backing somebody to win. So I'm going to go Everton 1, Palace 1, which I understand comments is massively helpful for the team that Mikey and I support. It's Nottingham Forest versus Fulham, where I think you might agree, Mikey, 2 teams that look good and have both started pretty well, haven't they? I like Forest at home, and I also like Fulham at home, and this game's at Forest. So I think I'm going to back the home win, which is going to be, I've been on the Forest train a lot. They're undefeated. So I'm going to go with it again. And I'm going to go Forest 2, Fulham 0.
I'm also in on Forest here. I'm going for same margin, but I'm going for them to win 3-1. They showed what they're all about against Brighton last week, didn't they? And although Nuno Espirito Santo will be missing from the touchline, and there's no Morgan Gibbs-White. I think they've got good depth and they've got momentum from these early games. Fulham will look decent as well. Emil Smith-Rowe settled well, and Raul
Right.
Jimenez, who I name checked early in the season, and said I'm not sure they're going to get much out of him, but he's scored a couple of goals and he can be quite streaky. But all the same, I'm going for goals in this game. But yeah, Forest to win it 3-1.
Bottom of the table now, Wolves. Nice easy game. Liverpool at home.
Yeah, these aren't good times for Wolves, are they? They're bottom on alphabetical order, aren't they? They've got an identical
Oh, I
record with
see. Okay.
Everton. Um, Cunha scored a lovely goal at Villa last week, but as Gary O'Neill pointed out, they don't seem to be able to scrap out results like they need to. So I imagine that's what they're going to be scrapping on the training ground this week. They came alive roughly this time last season, so there's some crumbs of comfort there for fans of Wolves. Liverpool just clicked straight back into gear after the disappointing result against Forest, didn't they? They won in Milan and then they won 3-0 against Bournemouth. Darwin Núñez ended his goal drought. I'm going for a comfortable away win here. I'm going Wolves 0, Liverpool 3.
Agree with everything you have said. Sorry, I didn't realise Wolves were alphabetically bottom, but still 0 wins. And this record-breaking season we found out on Blue Monday, didn't we? Of the first time 6 clubs have been without a win after 5 games. And I really like Liverpool as well at the moment. Very smooth, like you suggested. So I'll go for the clean sheet win. You've left me open for a 2-0 then, Mikey, if you've taken the 3-0. I know I've done that several times this season already for Liverpool and been right a couple of times. Liverpool winning 2-0 at Wolves. And the way it's fallen. I'm first for Ipswich versus Aston Villa. And I hate myself. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be more positive, but I'm going to call an away win here for Villa. I think they're going to be too good for Ipswich. Ipswich have been in games. They've been competitive. They're not in the bottom 3. I just think Emery and Villa are too good. And even if Ipswich play well, it might still be a narrow defeat. So Ipswich 0, Villa 2. Hope I am totally wrong.
Right, Ben. I'm going to shock you here. I'm also going for a Villa win. But yeah, slightly more positive than you. I think we're going to score in this game. Villa usually concede. They seem to concede first quite a lot. I'm going Ipswich 1, Aston Villa 2. They're just such a strong squad with a really smart manager. So it's not like it's one where McKenna can just school the opposition manager. But here's something interesting that I've found in my research, Ben. Aston Villa have a fantastic record at Portman Road in the league. They haven't lost there since 1984, which is 40 years ago. The date of that game, the 29th of September, which is when Ipswich host Villa next.
Okay. We hope it's a good omen, but we have both gone for a Villa win, and that would be a public apology I would love to give next week. Believe you me. I hope I am. This one looks hard. Man United Spurs. Go on.
Yeah, United back in the bottom half after that frustrating draw that we've mentioned at Palace. They should have won that game. Spurs, 2 wins in a week after losing in the North London derby. Has Brennan Johnson refound his confidence? A couple of good finishes from him. I think Manchester United look pretty solid again. Their attacking unit seems to be connecting, even though they didn't score against Palace. So I'm going for a relatively comfortable 2-0 Manchester United win here.
Would you believe neither of us have called a Desmond? And this is our 18th prediction. I think both these sides are kind of good, but kind of flawed. And I can't really separate them. But I'd like to back both teams to score. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Not really enjoying the minor meltdown from Ange in the press conferences this week because we really liked him last season. So hopefully things can get a little bit tetchy or a little bit less tetchy rather between him and the press. The Monday night football is another big game down at the bottom of the table. It's Bournemouth versus Southampton. Should be a pretty technically blooming good game of football, actually, with those two managers the way they want to play. And I think if they both play the way they want to play and they both play to form, I think Bournemouth win it by a single goal. I haven't gone for a bonus point yet. So let's go for your TV lot, Mikey, to be super happy with Bournemouth 3, Southampton 2.
Yeah, this does on paper look very entertaining, doesn't it? It's another not a derby. The Battle of the New Forest I've written down. Could you call it that? Maybe. Don't think anyone would.
That we are now.
Yeah, we're calling it that. The Battle of the New Forest. You whoever wins it wins ownership of all of the wild horses. Case of what might have been for them at Liverpool, Semenya having that goal ruled out early on, and they battled hard in that second half as well. So they won't be too disappointed. Southampton will be really disappointed to have not got the win against Ipswich in the way that they did, conceding that last gasp deflected winner. I'm not sure in the centre forward position, but they've got plenty of good players around it. So I'm also backing them to score 3 times, but I'm only going to go for the 1 goal for Southampton. So Bournemouth 3, Southampton 1.
But I think we have covered one of the bottom 6 actually getting the win. You backed Everton, didn't you, Mikey? So
I did,
hopefully that record is gone. Get involved down there in the comments. It's all good fun. Get ahead of the games. Copy and paste all the fixtures. They'll be in the description down there. And normal rules apply and scoring replies. Give yourself a point for a correct outcome, 3 for a correct result, and a bonus point. We've got a couple in there. I've gone 3-2 there. Bournemouth, Southampton. Mikey with a 4-1 early in the proceedings for Arsenal to beat Leicester. Really enjoying this over on the Blue Monday podcast and here on the channel. Thank you for all your support and all your comments and all your thumbs up and all of that good stuff. And I'm going to be at Portman Road at the weekend. Mikey, I hope I have a good day. You going to be there?
Sadly not. No, I have a second birthday party to attend. So, yeah, I'm going to be trying to keep up to date with things on my phone when my mother-in-law isn't watching.
Unbelievable scenes. Join us next week for another round of Premier League predictions.